Only the fox got nose. 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 Only the fox got nose.
What the F is Fox Guy?
Did you read the email that we just got? By
Is it the one that seems like an AI wrote it? And they had our names wrong, and she thinks we apparently know Chad Kruger.
Yeah, so I don't know what this... I'm not going to say this person's name just on the off chance that they're a real person, but this person reached out to us, and the email goes, quote, "Hello, Lauren and Tristan. I'm looking to reach a Mr. Chad Kruger, who was a guest on your show a couple years back. I'd like to have him on my podcast, Let's Talk About Sex." Totally real. This gets more real by the minute. From my understanding, via my assistant, he is single/divorced and dating. My assistant assures me he's of a certain age, close to my own. To give you a bit of backstory on the podcast, period. It's for adults of a certain age that are in the dating world or re-entering the dating world. It's very tongue-in-cheek. Funny, not something clinical. Statistically, the largest group that are re-entering the dating world are those from the late 40s and up. Blah, blah, blah. So, yeah.
One of the most surreal emails I've ever read.
This person gives their name and describes himself as chef/owner, A Journey's End.
I love how they declare that they're like a chef.
What?
It reads like a Mad Lib.
Why did we get this? And
I can't figure it out either. I kind of assumed it was like AI spam.
Yeah, but what's the purpose? What's the purpose? What are they trying to fish out of us?
I don't know. All I know is don't click that link at the bottom.
I won't.
That was the one thing I was like, there is a link.
Yeah, it's.
I assume everything's phishing. So again, because of my job, I get phished a lot. And I am it's conditioned and drilled into my brain to not click anything anymore.
No.
And I've missed legit things because of my caution, where it was real. And they're like, did you get it? And I was like, why did you make it look like a phishing attempt? I didn't click on it.
So we have to count on people to misspell words and just say things that are just absolutely bonkers in order to
it's
prove that
basically
it's
for
not
me,
AI.
it comes down to if I wasn't expecting it, I'm not clicking it. Even if something as simple as your coworker sent you an e-card. Mm-hmm. No, they fucking didn't. I don't trust anything.
Well, it's sad, Cal, because my first instinct when I first read this was I just wanted to continue the bit. I just wanted to tell them that I'm Chad Kruger, buy a burner phone, have that be Chad Kruger's cell phone, and then I call into this Let's Talk Sex podcast, and I, as Chad Kruger, talk about all of my kinks for an hour and a half. All right, welcome to Polishing Turds with Lauren and Tristan. My name is Lauren.
I'm Tristan, I guess.
And this is the show where we talk about sushi as well as sex in your 40s and maybe sometimes occasionally bad music. Konnichiwa and welcome to Babymetal Part 3. And in case you're wondering, yes, we do actually intend to spend the majority of this episode talking about Babymetal.
I feel like this episode was 2 months in the making to finally get this, and that's partially on me. I've been traveling, guys.
No, so we've both been busy, so I know that our episodes have been coming out slower than some of our fans might be used to. It's just we hope to improve on that a little bit in the future, but just understand we're both working hard. We've just been insanely busy.
I've been everywhere, man.
He's been everywhere. He's been Waterloo, Bascula, another thing, Cal, I gotta admit, for a show where we just shit on bands, it's kind of surprising how little pushback we get on most of our episodes, but
I think you're very fair and balanced. We are very kind to some artists that barely deserve it.
No, I mean, that's the whole point of the show, really, is to like see, you know, like Venu Malesh, always search good in bad.
Yes.
But I think with Babymetal, we've probably gotten more pushback from the fan base than we've ever gotten before. It's like really like the reaction from some of them is what I expected from Juggalos. But Juggalos turned out they're actually
funny.
cool.
Yeah,
Like,
they're self-aware.
fine. Yeah,
No, we know we suck.
you know. But like, well, with Babymetal, like there've been a lot of kind words, but few people took issue with the fact that in our last episode we called the girls easily replaceable.
I knew that would happen. As soon as it left my mouth, I'm kind of like, someone's gonna. They all have their stands, and I know that they're gonna come at us for saying that. I shouldn't have said it.
I'm thinking of one guy who wrote like a doctoral thesis. I'm like, you're wrong about that. So let's have a chance to kind of clarify that, perhaps. You know, like I think what we were going for. It's not that like the girls have no talent; they do. And their individual personalities are part of the appeal of Babymetal, as with any idol group, because that's what I truly think they are at the end of the day.
Yeah.
What we were saying in the context of that remark was we just want to emphasize that Koba Metal is the true secret sauce.
No, I just mean like, do you really think that if, let's say, Moa says, I'm done tomorrow, I'm sick of this, and they get a new person, the show ends? I don't think so. It's not the same as like Les Claypool saying, I'm quitting Primus.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. Then that is it for that band.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
No, I mean, Sue maybe is the only
Sue,
exception.
I think,
yeah,
her face is iconic enough at this point.
And her voice. Like, she's a good singer, and she is recognizable enough as a vocalist that, like, if you put in some random other person, like, it would sound pretty different.
All I meant is they are not the artistic driving force here.
No.
If one of them mysteriously disappeared, they could find a substitute.
Yeah. And we will, over the course of these next couple episodes, prove exactly that, essentially.
It happened already.
All right, but let's get into the meat of today's episode. And before I kind of begin, I want to just kind of speak in very broad generalities. So here's one thing that I have discovered over the years that I have been doing this podcast and writing these scripts and telling these tales, and that is there are many ways to tell a story. So many routes and avenues by which one can approach this wily and nebulous thing that we call the truth. Now, thus far, we've been presenting the history of Babymetal as an offshoot of a Japanese idol group that took on a life of its own, attracting an audience of adoring pop fans and curious metalheads alike. But what if I told you that that's not necessarily the full story? What if I told you that the true origins of Babymetal are steeped in an esoteric mystique, an epic tale of deities, prophecies, and intergalactic struggle that encompasses not only the identity of metal music, but the very soul of mankind? That's right, folks. It is time to talk about Babymetal lore.
I have no idea what I'm in for today.
No, you don't spend all of your waking hours hunched over Reddit reading bits and pieces of how Sue Metal was descended from the fox god.
Actually, I've learned as I get older, even in the games I play, that the whole point is lore. Like RV, I find myself skipping so much. My attention span is getting bad, man.
Well, I will admit that, like, I've tried to digest this. I really wanted to get into it and like just like tell a massive story, devote most of an episode to this as much as I could. And the Babymetal lore is so fucking confusing and silly and nonsensical and clearly designed just to troll the very people who consume it that I just like, I lost patience, man.
Is it kind of like an anime where every arc they just kind of like redo or undo things they
do.
established.
They do like and it would be with Babymetal, it could be like in the course of weeks of like one big concert to the next big concert, they like kind of redo the same story or like introduce a character or an idea and never bring it up again.
You know how some people say that every single Zelda game occurred in the same universe, but there's like time skips and like parallel universes that make it all possible. There's some Babymetal guy somewhere
100%
who's like, no, it is possible, it's a parallel universe, there was a time split here, and he's got a way he's mentally made it all somehow jive.
No, he's Charlie with all the strings attached to each other. Like, and he'll like, any girl that he is unfortunate enough to meet, will run away 5 seconds after seeing that. So as we, have kind of hinted at before, Babymetal's lore is extensive and monumentally silly. The lore is typically revealed at concerts through narrated video segments before and between songs, and fans often refer to these little video clips as kamishibai. Side note, do you know about kamishibai and what it is, Cal?
I do not.
I did not either. This is an old Japanese art form that's basically just like a form of like street storytelling where they just have 10 or 12 painted wood blocks and they just kind of like put them in front of each other and then just like move them aside as they tell a story. It's like, just picture like a children's book. Essentially, but you're narrating it throughout.
Okay.
And so like kind of before television, this was like a main mode of like common popular entertainment in Japan.
Got it.
It's pretty cool.
So they'll play a few songs and then what, like this will come up on the screen and you'll get some lore dump and then they play a few more songs.
That's exactly what happens. Yeah. And they'll use the kamishibai as kind of lead-ins to whatever song they're about to play.
Okay.
So these narrations, which are pretty much all written by Babymetal, purport to explain the origins of Babymetal and cast their otherwise ordinary concerts and album releases as apocalyptic struggles between good and evil.
It's fun if you remember what Babymetal sounds like and looks like. That idea is funnier to me. Like the only thing that can stop the demons is them dancing.
Yeah, like literally, it's just it's like this is the final battle of the apocalypse. Like you
give me the chocolate.
Yeah, like just like there was like a real like end times struggle. Like wouldn't you expect like Wagner to compose the soundtrack?
Yeah, no kidding.
I don't know. Even Babymetal fans will admit that the lore is convoluted, confusing, and sometimes self-contradictory. In addition to the main lore, there's all manner of semi-official side lore, much of which gets lost in translation or barely made sense to begin with. Like I said, Cal, I tried to get into this. I tried to make as much sense of it as I could, but it was a struggle, man.
It reminds me of the Five Nights at Freddy's lore. And I know you might have no idea what I'm talking about because you have children my children's age, but that it's just this kid's horror game, and the lore. He basically is making it up as he went, but he can't admit that.
Yeah.
But the guy who makes the games, I think this is my theory now. I think he realized tons of people, like YouTube people. That's a jet. Sorry, guys. Outside. I live by the airport. He realized that all these YouTube analysts are making videos off his convoluted lore. He gets attention that way.
So he tries to like
it's
cook it in a way that's going to fuck them up.
Well, then they made a movie that contradicts shit. They have books that are like, it's exactly what you're describing. It's so fucking dense, and I almost think that's by design.
Why can't you just admit this shit is made up? I'm actually reading right now a book called The Lost Books of the Bible. And it's literally a collection of like early gospels that just like didn't make it into the New Testament.
The kings that didn't like that one.
Just like whatever church elders or bishops were like, nah, not
it's
this
one of God's lesser words. It's like when we say like or and edit it.
Yeah, it's like this is an EP.
Mean that one.
This is an EP we're gonna bury, maybe put on a charity, compilation. But actually, some of the stories are kind of fucked up. Like, there's this one story where Jesus, like as a child, he's like a cantankerous kid, and he like some kid is just like playing and runs into him and knocks him down, and he gets up, gets mad, and strikes the child dead. I don't know, Cal. I find that pretty relatable.
That's more akin to how people see Jesus now.
If your 5-year-old had supernatural powers, like, don't you think he'd be doing shit like that?
I'd get rid of. I've seen the Twilight Zone episode of what happens.
Yeah.
When you let that kid live too long.
It's a nightmare.
Yep.
It's basically like the current administration.
Yep.
But when it comes to Babymetal, like trying to make sense of all this, I had a much easier time digesting all the Federal Reserve research that I did for Iced Earth and doing monetary policy.
I believe it though, man, because at least that shit's consistent. It's confusing, but there's rules.
There are rules. It is grounded loosely enough in reality that that money is a real thing, and the Federal Reserve does exist in a building. You can at least like try to see what is going on. But with this, it's just like it's just like this is this, and this was that, and this was also that. Mm-hmm. So what I'm going to do here is give my own brief summary of Babymetal's origins as told through the band's own lore. It's not a comprehensive guide, and I know I'm not going to get every little piece of it right, so Babymetal fans, just don't even fucking bother. I know we've
Don't email us. We're not going to read it.
I know we've probably already lost most of you to begin with, and, I don't even care at this point. All right. Long ago, circa 2010, let's say, the world was ruled by idols who dominated mankind with their powerful magic. These idols controlled the media, politics, and the economy, and they persecuted all music that wasn't idol music, including heavy metal. Well, naturally, the metalheads of Earth suffered under the weight of this oppression, and they prayed to the Fox God for the restoration of metal. The Fox God heard their prayers, and he summoned 3 young girls to restore the soul of heavy metal. These girls were, of course, Su Metal, Moa Metal, and Yui Metal.
This is why they should have been praying to Satan instead of the Fox God. You pray to the Fox God, he sends you 3 little girls. You pray to Satan, you get like Abaddon or something.
Yeah, you get Abaddon, or you get Sekimatsu.
Yeah.
But
just saying. All right, well.
But, the Fox God, he knows what he's doing, right?
All right.
The Fox God sent down these 3 dark heroines to infiltrate the idol scene and avenge the spirit of metal, along with the Kami band to protect them on stage as they spread their glorious music to the masses. Together, this divine force known as Babymetal engaged in an epic, galaxy-spanning struggle called the Metal Resistance.
All right, I like that.
In the years to come, Babymetal would engage in various episodes of the Metal Resistance, enduring trials assigned to them by the Fox God, but always prevailing in the end. These trials included challenges like playing the Nippon Budokan Theater and the Tokyo Dome, as well as completing a European tour. They contained interactions with legendary red corsets, magic clocks, and a flying V guitar-shaped spaceship called the Metal Ark. At one point, Su Metal was even crucified live on stage. Yes, they really did that, Cal.
That's amazing.
It's actually legitimately awesome. But through it all, Babymetal have prevailed against every obstacle, spreading the light of metal throughout the galaxy and uniting all their fans into a single sanctified community known as The One. All right, Cal, what do you think of all that?
I'm psyched. It sounds like you're listing off quests in a video game. They've completed their tasks, such as a European tour. It feels like something you're checking off in a game.
I mean, that's kind of how they present it, though. It's like this is like prevailed against the forces that wanted them to not play the Budokan Theater. Now they play this show in this city.
How far away do you think we are from a Babymetal video game? I don't think we're far off. I think it happens.
I think they're actually... I've heard that there was something in development. I actually purchased this Babymetal graphic novel on Amazon. I was going to bring it today, but I forgot. But it's called Apocrypha, and it purports to be like related to the Babymetal story. And I read through the whole thing, and it has nothing to do with anything I just described. It's written by this Western guy. And
Are they just like in it then though, or like
no, well, it's three other Western looking girls, and then there's this figure in the beginning that looks like the fox god, and presumably is, but then they spend the entire graphic novel traveling across like different time periods on Earth, fighting this like vulture monster. It goes from like, feudal Japan to like 1862 Victoria to like 1970s like DC, and it just none of it makes any sense, Cal. Like none of it like only even tangentially relates to Babymetal, except for the fox god stuff and the fact that there's three women with magical powers who might be earlier incarnations of Su Yui and Moa. Who knows? Like it's like a very loose adaptation of this script, like with the Babymetal logo on the front.
Weird.
And that's and I paid like fucking $24 for that, but that's like emblematic of the kind of stuff that happens in Babymetal lore. Is like you get all this stuff and fans will like gush out over it just because they feel like they have to,
right?
And some will admit in Reddit that like, oh, this is kind of confusing, I wasn't really sure what this meant. None of it makes any sense. It's just an excuse to draw cool stuff. Just admit it. But Babymetal lore is a huge part of what makes this group successful, much in the way that ICP doesn't really have an enduring legacy without the Dark Carnival. This is really like the pillars that holds Babymetal up in a lot of ways. So here are a few key concepts I want you guys to come away with. First, we have the Fox God. Now, this is the entity that created Babymetal and guides them through what is called the metal resistance, which can loosely be described as like Babymetal's journey throughout time and their career, essentially. Yep. And it's interesting. The Fox God, the concept kind of has roots in Japanese mythology. In Japan, there are these things called kitsune. The name for the fox god in Japanese is Kitsune-sama. And the kitsune are basically these like shape-shifting fox spirits that will come to Earth, shift into a human or whatever, and just like fuck with us.
There's a lot of games I have played that have references to kitsunes and foxes, and I'm aware of this one. Yeah, I don't doubt that. In interviews, whenever Babymetal are asked a question that they can't answer or won't answer or, didn't know enough English at the time to be able to answer, they will respond with, "Only the fox god knows." I think I'm going to start using that in my normal life. It's like, Cal, why didn't you get these project sheets sent on time? Only the fox god knows, man. Only the fox god, dude. What is a fox god? Only the fox god knows. It's like, why isn't my credit card working? Only the fox god knows. I like that, Cal. Let's, man, that should be our new sign-off. That's the new sign-off. Only the fox god knows. Who are you covering next? Why aren't your episodes out yet? Only the fox god knows, brother. I saw one interview with, I forget which one it was. One of them. They started trying to get real deep on the meaning of "Gimme Chocolate." Oh. He was like, it's real brave to write a song about an eating disorder. I've seen this one. Yeah, and she stops. She's like, no. It's just a girl who thinks she's going to eat too much chocolate and get fat. Yeah. And I loved it. I was like, no. Yeah, why are we overthinking this? Exactly. That's us putting our like Western, like mental health discourse onto like three Japanese girls who are managed by like what's essentially a big toy company. You know? Like, now Babymetal also has a holiday. April 1st is known in the Babymetal universe as Fox Day, and this is usually a day when major Babymetal news is revealed. And the fact that it happens to coincide with our April Fool's Day, as far as I know, that's just a coincidence. That's fucking unfortunate, because that is the worst day you can make big announcements on. Yeah, I mean, to tell like a normal person, they would just think like, oh, they're like, yeah, right, they're not going to tour, That's why Cal and I have chosen that December 25th is Turd Day. And, you are commanded to stay home, don't visit any of your family, and just worship your own shit from dawn to dusk. Did you know comedian Mitch Hedberg died on April 1st? I just remember that. I only remember because I tried telling people and no one believed me. And then I realized, he probably thinks it's funny wherever he is right now. See, that just proves that there is some
poetry to the universe.
There is.
And I appreciate that. So good job to the Fox God for allowing things like that to happen.
You took him on the correct day for a comedian.
Now, if the Fox God is Allah, his Muhammad is Babymetal. Babymetal is the prophet of the Fox God, and he often appears via video in the introductions to Babymetal concerts, explaining various elements of mythology or instructing the audience how to respond to various aspects of the show. For example, in the introduction to Babymetal's first ever performance at the Tokyo Dome, Koba instructed the crowd to put on these crystal neck braces that had been handed out to the entire audience, saying it will protect them for the battle that was to come.
All right, that's pretty fucking cool.
I know.
That would hype me up.
I like shit like this. And like, especially in the early days, this group did a lot of that. So he explained that, so you got these neck braces around your neck, right? So when you were headbanging to the concert, the collective energy, the metal spirit, would generate a power of light which will be stored into the neck brace, and the collective power of that light will help Babymetal engage in the metal resistance.
I think this is the second time I've said this in this series, but Slayer wishes they thought of that.
I know!
That is so good marketing. That gets you hyped up and you feel like you're part of it now.
No, it's super badass. Like you gotta gamify it.
And do you get to keep your necklace then too?
I presume so.
Because then you even get a little like memory of what you experienced.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing is brilliant.
No, and you could probably find these on eBay right now. Now, Babymetal's fandom is referred to as the One. And I've seen some pieces of lore that describe the One as like this mystical spirit of mankind that began 5 billion years ago and was only broken up by the forces of evil or some shit like that. And then we had to restore the One through this music. But
so it's the nice version of Legion.
Yeah.
Okay.
But in real life, the One is an actual fan club that you can pay to join in order to gain access to Babymetal tickets and merchandise.
Of course it is.
It's like...
You can be part of a collective, be something greater than yourself. There's a monthly subscription fee, but you can be in it.
And like, Cal, remember how this group started? They're an idol group,
right?
Like they're taking all their inspiration really from like AKB48 and these groups that were like all about selling merch and selling them to this like hyper devoted audience. Mm-hmm. And Babymetal cultivated that in just a very similar way.
Yeah, they just did it in an untapped market.
Absolutely. Now, also, I have to mention something called Black Babymetal. And before you get too excited, Cal, no, this is not Babymetal performing black metal music.
Damn it!
Although that would rule, quite frankly. So what this is basically, you know how Su Metal does almost all of the lead vocals, and Yui and Moa are relegated to quote-unquote scream and dance? Well, every now and then, Babymetal have songs where it's just Yui and Moa on vocals, and this formation of the group is known as Black Babymetal.
So it's like the episodes where Goku's gone and Krillin and Gohan have to cover.
Exactly. Sometimes you need a Krillin and Gohan episode.
Just because, that's how it is.
Just because, sometimes the Goku voice actor needs a vacation.
If you want to know how awesome Goku is, you need him to be gone for a while so you can miss him.
Exactly. The same thing with Su Metal. But of course, they can't just do Black Babymetal. They have to build a big story around it. And that story goes roughly like this. And again, there are like 6 or 7 different versions of this thing I'm about to describe. So one night, Yui and Moa were at a party, and things got a little too crazy. The big power idols who remember rule the universe tricked them into eating a piece of chocolate that the fox god had warned them never to eat.
Like the song.
Suddenly possessed by an external force, Yui and Moa were lured to the cyber city of Akihabara, where they transformed into the idol-infused duo Black Babymetal.
I have to admit this is fun.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I've said it like 3 times. This is right in line with like anime and video game plots.
It is.
I don't know why it's sucking me in, but it is.
No, this is super fun. So Cal, I'm going to show you an example of a Black Babymetal song that I'm reluctant to admit I kind of like this. So this is a song called Onodari Daisuke-sen.
dude, that song. So that was their take on Limp Bizkit.
Yeah.
It reminds you of something Limp Bizkit would do.
Yeah.
But again, with Japanese female vocals.
It's really cute. Like, so the title of that song translates as "Beg Dad for It" operation.
Yeah.
It's,
So, the YouTube we watched has the translation. Mm-hmm. And I'm aware not everything can be directly translated, but these are some weird lyrics, man.
yeah, particularly the like, "I'll marry you, Dad."
Yeah, is that common in Japan?
Apparently it
to
is.
tell your dad, "I'll love you forever, I'll even marry you if you want something."
I looked into this. Apparently it is. Because like when I first read the translated lyrics, like it was a little bit jarring. It's like there's like so the whole song is about like kind of flattering your dad
To get some cash.
to get some cash, which like every 6-year-old girl in the world can relate to. But like as part of it, like they sing to Dad like, "I'll be your bride, Dad," which apparently is like a common and relatively innocuous saying in Japanese culture. It's like you, again, like translating asshole, to them didn't make sense to them. Like we're not thinking about rectal.
Yes, I will
spheres.
assume they don't mean it literally.
Yeah, it's just you can't translate everything.
It just means
word
I'll
for
love
word.
you forever.
Yeah. So, as you can see, there is quite a lot to Babymetal lore, and honestly, I'm leaving the vast majority of it on the table, and you probably should be thanking me for that. Now, within this convoluted, ever-evolving narrative, there are references to Christianity, numerology, Japanese folklore, idol culture, Star Wars, Godzilla, I'm pretty sure, and many figures from heavy metal history, including Stryper, Mayhem, Metallica, X-Japan, and of course, Sekimatsu.
Makes sense.
But I want to leave you with one little episode which to me demonstrates just how far Babymetal are willing to go in order to, well, be Babymetal. It concerns a series of concerts called the 5 Fox Festival that the group performed in Japan in 2017. These were 5 individual shows, each of which was guided by a different fox spirit and was limited to a very specific audience. So, according to the lore, the fox god released 5 souls into the world, which were passed down to 5 foxes. These 5 foxes became the chosen 5, and each had a particular color: black, red, gold, silver, and white.
Kind of seems like Power Rangers or Beetleborgs or
Silencio. Come on. No, this is a totally original thing. There's no inspiration in Japanese culture.
There's no fighting groups of 5 with different colors in any Japanese shows.
So that summer, the 5 colors of the fox flame were gathered to burn in the land of the rising sun. So they really did this thing where they had 5 concerts, and each the audience of each concert was very selective. So the Black Fox Festival was limited to males only.
Okay, so the Sausage Fest.
Sausage Fest, honestly, a typical Babymetal
Right,
idol
how
show.
different is that one?
And then came the Red Fox Festival, which was limited to females only. Then you had the Gold Fox Festival, which is limited to teenagers only.
The smelly one.
Yeah. Then you have my personal favorite. The Silver Fox Festival was limited to elementary school kids and people over the age of 60 only.
I know. That one seems like the most... That's either going to be the best concert or the worst concert, and I don't know which it would turn out to be.
I just like, how do you think of that? Like, just imagine the logistics of that. Like, imagine, like, okay, you're 8 years old, you're somehow into Babymetal. You can't do a beg dad for it operation.
No.
You got to do a beg grandma for it operation.
Right, and your parents are not allowed in.
Your parents are not allowed to. You got to find. Okay, there's plenty of elderly people in Japan, but you got to drag your fucking old ass grandpa, to a metal concert.
I don't get this.
This is hurting my rib cage. I gotta look up video of that because it's just a bonkers concept.
I think all of these are All these are a little crazy.
They're all a little crazy, but I love it. I think more bands should do this. Although, like in America, I guess we have equal discrimination laws that maybe prevent something like this from happening.
You would have someone making it a point to be upset that they won't let them in.
Yeah, of course. And then finally, the White Fox Festival admitted everyone, but required the entire audience to wear white corpse paint.
I love that too. It's like, if you don't have the paint, we're not letting you in.
Yeah. You know who should do this, Cal, is the NFL. It's just like, there should be certain games out of the year. You should have it's males, females. Fuck it, let's do it by race. Blacks only, Asians only. and then there's a day where like everybody has to like wear those like ravey glowing neck rings and be on E the entire time.
And what's wild to me about this is like from the business perspective, I don't know what it gains you. You're guaranteed to sell less tickets at each of these shows than you would have otherwise.
I don't think so. I think by this point, this is like one of the most popular groups in Japan. They can get away with they almost certainly sold out each of these nights.
That's crazy.
And it just adds to their mystique in the long run. So I think it's a brilliant move, man. But anyway, that's just a taste of the kind of stuff that this band was willing to do, and to try to dress up as this sort of mystical fox god resistance quest to conquer the universe.
Theater like this works. Like, I'm sure you've noticed, rock is kind of gone. Metal's kind of gone. The ones that are succeeding are all these masked bands that have lore behind them.
No, yeah.
They're, it makes sense. They're right in line with the trend.
It's like, it's the same reason that nobody watches like Olympic wrestling, but millions of people watch, WWE. It's like, you got to have the theater.
Yeah, we're past the days where like three guys in jeans can make a band,
Yeah, no.
You got to have something, some show to it.
100%. Now, with that in mind, let's get back to the actual storyline of Babymetal. So, as we mentioned in our last episode, Babymetal started really to take off as an independent group in the year 2013. It's worth noting, like how, like you were mentioning when we watched that video, how young they look. They're still like girls at this point. Like when they're like a headline phenomenon playing like some of the biggest theaters in Japan, they're like backstage doing their homework before
insane.
The show. It's fucking wild. It's like Hannah Montana but real life.
Yeah. I get annoyed when I have to switch from like something I'm designing to a meeting or someone steps in my office. I don't know how you mentally separate. I'm doing my math homework. Now I'm going to go sing and dance in front of a packed stadium.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It's like I can't hear my teacher because my ears are ringing from rocking the show last night. Now, by this point, they had introduced the Kami Band, established much of the lore we just described, and even released a live DVD. But it wasn't until February of 2014 that the group released their self-titled debut album, Babymetal. So here, finally, 2.5 episodes in, we've finally gotten to the first Babymetal album. And have you had a chance to listen to this, Cal?
I'm sorry, I did not. I have heard, this is the one, though, I've heard the most songs off of.
I'm
almost positive.
Yeah, and it's like, it's probably the same for most of our audience. It has Gimme Chocolate. It has Doki Doki Morning.
Well, and this is this is about when I think I was aware they existed.
Yeah. No, this is kind of when they came crashing into the universe for people in the West. And, when I first heard this album, like I found it very kind of disjointed and kind of all over the place. And that is stemming from the fact that like it's less of a unified album and more just a collection of like everything they had recorded between 2010 and 2014. Sure. But I've come to like actually like think it's probably my favorite Babymetal album.
I'm pretty sure the internet agrees with you. I might be wrong, but if I looked it up, it's either this one or the second one.
Yeah.
And they kind of hit a peak and then...
I mean, it goes all over the place because if you ask, I think, casual listeners, they'll have one opinion. If you ask Babymetal fans, they'll have maybe a different opinion. Like I think Babymetal fans like really tend to like some of the later stuff
It's
too, a bit
whatever
more.
the newest one is. They got to stand for it.
Yeah, they stand hard,
Yep.
and it's often harder to separate what they really think versus like what they're
what the
what
line
they're
is.
trying to rep.
What's the
on
messaging?
Reddit,
What do I got to go on the internet and say?
But I've come to really like this one, in spite of, or perhaps because of the fact that it's so fucked up and all over the place, and it's the most straight up kawaii like shit that they've done, and it's just designed to just troll the living shit out of the entire musical establishment. And it's almost not even like a proper metal album, because they're mixing up in true Japanese fashion, like they're mixing up a lot of different genres into like the same song oftentimes. So as kind of a representation of that, I want to play a brief sample from one of the singles from this album. This one is called Ine.
哦 my god, man. Reality is being torn asunder.
How many times do we say that?
I don't know. I don't even know where I got it from.
And it's true every time.
That was just a complete musical hodgepodge.
Oh,
there's
yeah.
a bit of, like, there's the distorted metal guitar, and there's kind of the backup, like, oh, you know? Mm-hmm. But there's a rap bridge. It's like electronic hard dance at one point. Clearly idol music in the chorus.
Yes.
That thing is all over the place.
I know, and I love it. And I love that, like, like you will see concerts where they perform this, and they'll, like, really just the image of three little girls, like, in Japan going, yo,
yeah.
yo.
I don't know if it'll make it in the clip you use, but that yo was adorable.
It's like,
yo,
if you can't fall for that, you don't have a soul. Like, that is really cute.
Oh, man. This is why 2025 is such a challenging time to assign genres to anything.
Yeah.
What do you call that?
It's Babymetal. It's, it's what the Fox God wanted.
Yeah.
Like, this is the prescription that the divine Kitsune have come up with to cure us of our ills. And, hopefully it's going to work. It needs to work pretty soon.
It worked on me, man. That song, that cheered me up.
No, it's like you could really understand the appeal of this band to someone who's maybe not even into metal, maybe not really even a big music fan at all, honestly.
Oh yeah, this works way better if you have no attachment to heavy metal whatsoever.
Yeah.
If you're in love with that genre, this is kind of a problem. But I think for a normal person, I get why this is the biggest metal band right now.
Yeah, it's because you don't need just the music. There's a whole lot of other things to focus on.
Yep.
There's even just the fashion alone is worth remarking on.
No, you got a whole entertainment package here.
Absolutely. And one other thing that we haven't really had a chance to talk about, and this is a difficult thing to talk about because we're discussing music that's in a different language, but another thing that kind of made this band connect initially in Japan was the lyrics. And a lot of it is surprisingly poignant and relatable from the perspective of a teenage girl.
Sure.
Right? I mean, they're not writing the lyrics. Let's be clear about that. But like the stuff that's written for them is smartly written, I will say.
What have we heard so far? You talked about wanting to eat chocolate, begging your dad for money, stop bullying forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, so like we had the Ijime Dame was the anti-bullying song. Gimme Chocolate literally is about a girl who wants to eat chocolate but worries about her weight, you know. And I think in Japan they just must not have as much of the like discourse around body dysmorphia.
There's none of that. All the body acceptance and body shaming, that's unique to here.
Yeah.
Everywhere else, if you're fat, you're fat.
Yeah.
Let's be done with it.
Right. And Japan has far fewer fat people.
Yep.
So like some of the lyrics go, I can have a bit of chocolate, can't I? I think so, don't you? I'll be so happy and can work hard. It's like a war within herself, which like I think a lot of even I find relatable as a 37-year-old adult Western man.
Dude, I can't have chips in the house. I'll eat those shits. They'll be gone that day.
Dude, I work in a retail environment where we sell donuts, and I fight a battle with myself every day not to eat those donuts on my break. Like, I get it. I understand gimme chocolate.
But I'll work so much harder if I have one. It's an energy ring.
Right? It's just like, I'll just go an extra 10 minutes on the treadmill. And then Doki Doki Morning, which translates roughly to like something like heart pounding morning. Mm-hmm. That is about a teenage girl who is scrambling to figure out her hair and makeup before going to school.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's every day.
Maybe more metal should just be about dumb relatable shit instead of dismembering corpses and Satan.
Why hasn't there been a death metal song about being stuck in traffic? You know, like
that's a actually good question.
You know,
one of the most enraging experiences of most people's lives, and they've never written a song about it.
Why, you know, like
I wanted to make a death metal song that was just called Heartburn, like a casual condition.
Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
But then on a slightly deeper level, there is this song on the first album called Megitsune, which is a bit more sophisticated. This song, I think, is presenting itself as a sincere attempt to kind of channel the complex experience of being a woman. Now, obviously, there are really no two better people in all of the planet to describe the complex experience of being a woman than Calvin and myself. But, you know, we just have to accept that and digest our interpretation.
We are that empathetic and that good at putting ourselves in others' shoes that we actually are the best to tell you what it's like to be a woman.
Like, you know, ladies, we know you better than you know yourselves. So Megitsune basically is the female version of a kitsune, the fox spirit in Japanese culture. And Megitsune like often come down to earth and transform themselves into like an attractive woman in order to like seduce a man.
Oh, succubi.
You know, like kind of loosely related to all that. Obviously, it's like way more complicated, but that's kind of the idea that they're cooking with here. And so basically what Babymetal are doing in this song is like kind of like trying to shake off that stereotype that like women are like these the evil fox spirits. And they write the song like kind of from the perspective of a woman. So they sing, and Cal, I'm going to be nice and I'm going to not make you do the lyrics.
I don't think I was going to be able to do it without a hacky accent. So I'm glad. Thank you for saving me.
Now that I know a hacky accent is play, I almost want to do it now, but let's not get canceled today. So the lyrics go, quote, "Ancient maidens, you dance in the transient dream. Getting over thousands years, you live today. Ah, it's right. Always women are actresses. Girls are becoming more like an ideal woman, smiling at face, crying at heart, saying it's all right. We never show our tears."
I think, all right, I will say, I'll overstep my bounds. It feels like Japanese society is actually like one of the worst for this. Women everywhere, I think, have to deal with this, but I think it's especially strong there. I
will, like, again, not knowing, like, not having the culture experience, but it sounds intuitively correct.
Yeah, I'm just going off media I've consumed, Reddit, people I've talked to. That's the impression I have. Maybe I'm way off base.
No, the smiling at thing, crying at heart is a real phenomenon. You know, I've been watching these these movies by, you ever heard of the Japanese director Yasujiro Ozu?
Has he done a movie? Because it sounds familiar, but it's a Japanese name, so I could be...
Tokyo Story, that's might be the film, the only one that I think a non-ultra film nerd would know. But he's, okay, so this guy is like high-level film nerd stuff, but he's really great. And his films are all about like kind of portraits of families like who are quietly struggling. It's not like bitter, like white trash brawls, but like families quietly having disagreements among themselves, and it's all very subtle and slow and Japanese.
Well, I've heard just from like YouTube I've watched too that's like a thing. It's like one of those shorts of why you might not want to date a Japanese woman, and one of the things they mention is it's very enforced into you that you shouldn't really express your opinion too much.
Yeah,
you subtly let them know what you're feeling, and that's like the extent of what you're allowed.
Yeah, it's like, so there's in the film Tokyo Story, there's like the climax of that film is, after they've had this huge, like, quietly played out family drama where they realize that like their mother died and they were complete disappointments to them, and like their whole understanding of their family has been ripped asunder. One of the aunts says to her niece, like, "Isn't life disappointing?" And the other one goes, Yes, it is. And they're both smiling throughout the interaction. Like, it's just like this like heart-wrenching drama, but they're smiling clearly through
Shove
pain.
that shit down.
Like, just like that's a lot of what Japanese female culture is. I've even read that the phrase smiling at face, crying at heart is like a very popular expression in that country. Yeah. So like, it's like, it's some surprisingly deep shit from a band called Babymetal.
Right.
So, needless to say, this debut Babymetal album was a huge hit both in Japan and abroad. And this is the point in time where, like you were saying, Cal, the Gimme Chocolate video goes like kind of mega viral on YouTube. And that's where where the rest of the world starts to come into the picture. Like, they're already big in Japan, but then suddenly the wider world starts to take notice with that video.
That's the one I remember seeing. That's when I became aware of it. And of course I did the typical reaction of I watched it when, what the fuck is this?
What the fuck is this? That's
turned it off.
Yeah. And then some people saw it, said, what the fuck is this? And I'm going to devote my life to it.
Where has this been the whole time?
Yeah. It's like every now and then. I remember I've had a moment like that in my life, Cal. When I was like 12 or 13, I was up late at night watching MTV, and the music video for Andrew WK's Party Hard came on. And I just thought it appealed to all of my 12-year-old sensibilities. I thought, this is the thing I've been waiting for my entire life.
This guy fucking parties.
This guy fucking rules. Now, meanwhile, Babymetal's live audience only continued to expand. In March of 2014, they played 2 shows at Japan's legendary Budokan Theater. These shows were dubbed Red Night and Black Night, respectively, and they occupy an important place in Babymetal lore. This is where a lot of that lore gets established. They did a lot of Kamishibai during the sets, and then like the Red Night and the Black Night were like slightly different in tone and in musicality.
Sure. Pokemon Red and Blue version.
Yeah, so like red and black obviously are like very big colors in Babymetal. Like they're wearing a lot of red and black, so like it's all kind of tied into the whole package. Now that summer, the Fox God challenged Babymetal to embark on their first ever world tour, playing in Paris, Cologne, London, and LA, among other places. And of particular importance is their July 2014 performance at the Sonosphere Festival in Nebworth, England. This festival is just a huge metal festival that occurred every year, and they've played like Metallica, Slayer, Iron Maiden, just like all the big boys, all the S tier metal bands, as well as like kind of anybody who's anybody in like Western metal. So it was a big deal when the organizers decided that they're going to book Babymetal to this festival.
Yeah. I'm curious how it went over.
Well, you might be surprised, Cal. So initially, they were booked to play on like a small stage late at night on a Sunday. So like kind of like, again, like I'm blanking on the name of the festival, like in Japan.
I remember.
But they were supposed to like be basically a sideshow that was barely in it.
Yeah, and then if it does bomb, it's not a big deal.
Not a big deal. But in this case, by that point, they were big enough online that their fans really pushed them to have like a bigger like headlining show. So there was a grassroots Facebook group just of Babymetal fans that launched this campaign to get them onto the main stage, and it worked. The team behind Sonosphere agreed. They put them on the main bill. Someone presumably got bumped off because of that. Just remember these things are kind of zero sum. And that is the story of how a trio of teenage Japanese girls made their UK debut on the main stage of one of the biggest rock festivals in Europe. So how did this go down? Obviously, it was a controversial decision. Some fans were excited to see this hit new viral novelty act. And surprise, surprise, a lot of metal fans were pissed off.
Yeah.
Because...
Oh, there's no way that, like, Gary, whose favorite band is Motorhead, and he's 45, there's no way that was going over with him.
No, of course not. But the performance itself, actually a huge hit. Like, it went over really well. And you can watch the set on YouTube if you want. By the end of it, they get a big ovation, and a lot of people are chanting, "We want more."
Well, one thing I will give them from every video we've watched is, they can do a live performance. They are amazing performers.
That's a huge part of it.
That band is, you can tell they hired top-tier studio musicians to fill out the Kami band. Mm-hmm. They sound fucking good. I'm not surprised they can win the crowd over.
Yeah. And also just think about it from this perspective. Like, any music festival, especially one that's limited to one genre, I don't care who you are. I don't care how much you like the music.
Right, it's something different.
It gets repetitive after 10 hours of standing around baking in the sun,
Like, me and Jess had that experience at the last Milwaukee Metal Fest. Mm-hmm. By day 2, I was just kind of like, if I hadn't already bought the ticket, I'd be gone.
Yeah.
I've seen enough.
Yeah, so isn't it nice to have something that's a little bit different? Just it just as a little palate cleanser or a shock to the senses. Like, I think that may have been why they booked them in the first place. It's just here's something different. And honestly, every festival should be thinking about bookings in that way. Just spice it up a little bit, and then you have 8 more thrash metal bands. So at the end, they were chanting, "We want more," and they would get more. Much, much more. The Sonosphere performance is often cited as the moment where Babymetal truly made themselves known to the Western world. It was becoming increasingly clear that this was not just a weird viral curiosity, but an actual group with a rabid following that the metal establishment would somehow have to reckon with. And for a lot of metalheads, that reckoning was very, very difficult.
Don't make me change.
Here's a kind of analogy I thought up recently. We have said this before about vegans, Cal, where intellectually, philosophically, you're probably right. But the way you're expressing it is so goddamn annoying that I have to disagree with you. And that's the way I feel about a lot of these diehard metal fans that are coming down on Babymetal. It's I'm a music guy too. I understand your criticism of this pop act, but can you just stop being a dick?
I know, that's funny, because as I've gotten older, I've gotten that way of just live and let live.
Yeah.
People like to get themselves worked up online.
Oh, and that's why the internet exists.
Yep. It's funny. I always think of it as picture jazz. Picture the most snobby jazz dude. He went to music school. He likes every little thing to be sonically perfect. Mm-hmm. And then a hip hop artist samples a jazz song, and Rolling Stone starts calling them jazz hip hop.
Yeah.
That's I think all it is. It feels like a bit of culture appropriation and a dumbed down version from what you love.
Yeah.
But at the same time, then just don't listen to it. Who cares?
You
Walk
have to-
away.
You know, part of the problem is that in the internet age, all of culture is being beamed at us 24/7. You can't disappear. We're simultaneously very atomized, but also it's hard to like live in your own world without culture being beamed at you 24/7 and feeling like you are part of one reality that has to be responded to in totality every single time you open your mouth or type your keyboard.
So you're right. So it's like if my opinion on Babymetal bleeds into my opinions on like all sorts of other shit.
Yeah, you know, it's so, you know, that jazz guy like should just be living in his own jazz world, and he should never find out about the jazz hop album. That's the proper way for how the universe should be functioning. But instead, like, he has to like feel offended because you have to feel everything about everything that ever happens.
Oh man, you just summed it up. That's the problem.
All right. So you guys probably know that a lot of diehard metal fans are not always known for their open-mindedness. And for a great many of these guys, Babymetal was just a pill that they could not swallow. And as just one example, to this day, even though Babymetal are arguably, like, besides like Five Finger Death Punch and Metallica, like the best-selling metal band of the past 10 years, there is not one single entry for Babymetal on the review site metalarchives.com.
That site in particular, though, to be fair, they are the biggest metal gatekeepers on the internet.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't even count anything metalcore, not in there. Anything industrial, not in there.
It's like
as soon as you vary the littlest bit from traditional, like the 5 traditional forms of metal, you're off. Except unless they want to claim you. Rush has an entry on there.
Really?
Yep. And so does King Gizzard off the base. They did that one metal album.
Yeah, they got two, which are legitimate.
So it's like if they decide you're a good enough musician, then they'll let you in. But it's so
fucking
dumb.
It's so fucking arbitrary and petty, man.
It's really, really dumb.
Like, even like, I don't know. Well,
especially in 2025, as genre continues to blur, as we've mentioned.
Yeah, like, it's like, where do you draw that line? I want to see an 80-page scientific thesis.
Yeah, what exactly is metal?
What exactly is metal? You know, but let's leave those. We've already given those guys more real estate than they deserve.
I've given too much thought in my entire life. I have wasted too much time on that.
Yeah. Now, in a review of Babymetal's U.S. debut performance in L.A., the Metal Sucks blog wrote, quote, "Babymetal isn't metal. It's theater. The Japanese pop industry deconstructing post-millennial metal and modern pop tropes and reconstituting them into a fully realized 360-degree entertainment experience. There is true metal, there is false metal, and there is Babymetal."
That description is completely on point.
I think it's, yeah.
And I don't think you have to interpret that as negative. I think he's just stating fact of what it is.
That's how I kind of read it. It was like, when I first read that review, I was like, oh, they're shitting on Babymetal. But then when I read it again, it's like, no, they're actually not.
He's just trying to describe what it is.
Yeah, like I really think that it wasn't like, because if you wanted to trash them, it's much easier there are easier ways to do that.
Yeah. I mean, there's this exact same discourse around Ghost.
Yeah.
It's like, as soon as you understand it's just the look, but it is something else. It's not metal.
No, it is pop music and a guy wearing a corpsey Pope mask, you know? And he acknowledged in that review that, like, you know, he's at this club show and there are girls in like Naruto shirts and like guys in Cannibal Corpse shirts, and they're all moshing together. And that's kind of like the beauty of what Babymetal does, is like bringing those groups together.
I do like that out there. It's like what Green Day did for punk.
Yeah. Which again, like, a lot of punks would just like have heart attacks, like, even mentioning that. But I think on balance, Green Day was very, very good for music and for punk.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I agree.
That's where I've come around to over these years.
Yeah, you can't be a hardcore punk forever.
No,
there's a logical limit to that scene.
And it's like, it doesn't, like, the fact that Green Day exists or Good Charlotte exists, it doesn't mean that, like, Black Flag and the Germs never did.
Right.
You know, here's a different version of the same concept because not everyone's fucking 40 years old.
Right.
But there were some more kind of negative reactions from like people in the metal establishment. So in an interview with Kerrang, Chris Jericho from the band Fozzy said of Babymetal, quote, "I predict they'll end up this year's Tattoo. Remember them? Exactly."
That's pretty rich coming from a guy whose band no one remembers 2 years later.
I assumed you knew Fozzy. I had to look them
know,
up.
I do know Fozzy. I mean, they're a JJO type. Well,
Yeah.
no one on our podcast knows. That's our local rock, hard
Radio
rock
metal.
station.
Yeah. Mountain Dew metal. You know?
Yeah,
like,
and they play, Five Finger Death Punch. They did the cycle on there for a while. They were big for like a year or two.
yeah. No, like Babymetal definitely
They outlasted them.
Now, and then here's a criticism from someone that we actually respect. Mirai Kawashima from the band Psy, who we briefly mentioned in our last episode. He was asked about kind of Babymetal and like just how they've been spreading Japanese culture, throughout the world. And he wrote, quote, "I despise crap like Babymetal. I despise crappy people who are shameless enough to pay for such crap. But still, I'm glad Japanese culture is being recognized internationally."
That's the most Japanese black metal answer he could have given.
Yep.
I hate this shit. It's corporate, but also national pride.
Yeah.
It's like totally to the script of what they're supposed to think.
Oh, it's 100% true. Just like you can be like the most hardcore, like crusty anti-capitalist guy, but like, at the end of the day, you're still Japanese.
Yep.
Now, from what I can glean, overall, the biggest complaints against Babymetal tend to fall into two different threads of argument. One that they're not a real band, and one that they're not real metal. Now, the not a real band thing basically amounts to the fact that Babymetal are industry plants fabricated by the Amuse Talent Agency as this kind of novelty act. And my answer to that criticism is, yeah.
Right.
Like,
I thought we all knew that's what we were looking at.
Yeah, and like I truly think, and some fans I know will push back on this, but to me, the best way to understand Babymetal is as an idol group. That's why I spent the whole first episode talking about idols, is because like as much as like they are doing like metal songs and they're reveling in a lot of metal tropes, but the way they present themselves and especially the way they interact with their audience feels a lot more to me like an idol band than anything else.
I also feel even when you watch like their interviews and stuff like
mm-hmm.
it all fits the idol industry style. You can tell everything is perfectly planned.
Yeah, everything is so meticulously crafted, and just like down to every comment section is just like all these fans of like, "Oh, Sue, you're so adorable. I worship your hair." Like, just
that's idol shit.
It's idol shit.
You would never say that to Dave Mustaine, even when he had his long, luxurious hair.
Can you imagine if just as a troll you started treating Dave like that? How batshit it would drive him. It's like, "Oh, Dave, where did you get those ripped up jeans? Get the fuck away from me!"
Right.
Like, yeah, and you can acknowledge that they are quote unquote industry plants without denying that Sumo, Yui, Koba, Mikiko Metal, they're all extremely talented.
Yeah. That's another thing that's changed for me as I've gotten older.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really care if you're a corporate creation as much as I used to.
Yeah, because
if your music's good and you're talented, then fine. I don't care how you got there.
Yeah, because like it's just. I have more respect for the artists who do it the hard way, but like, it doesn't really take away from. It's not as zero sum as I think I used to believe.
Yeah, that's my one. I still tend to like underground more.
Yeah,
but I'm not going to just completely discount someone because I know that the studio created it.
Yeah, so it's like I know that like Taylor Swift is a factory. Like it's something that a whole management team is behind. It's not one person. It's like a team of songwriters and producers and people looking at graphs and doing research. But the final product is still enjoyable and watchable, and the people involved are all individually talented at what they're doing to produce this thing calling itself under the banner of Taylor Swift.
Yep.
Like, it all still works, and everybody involved, like, it's still good. And to that end, like, I just want to reiterate, like, Babymetal, like, their songs are written by teams of songwriters. The instrumentals are performed by studio musicians. It's actually not even the Kami band that play on the albums. It's a different group of people doing the recordings and then performing on tour.
I'm not super surprised.
And again, all involved are still great at what they do, you know?
We've referenced it a bunch on this show, but everyone should watch the documentary Hired Guns on Netflix.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just about the life of a studio musician and how fucking good you have to be to do that job.
Yeah. Watch Hired Guns, and then also watch The Wrecking Crew if you can find it. That's about like the specific studio musicians of like the 60s that like are behind like basically that entire generation's hits came from like 12 people in LA.
Well, I love the idea too of it. You're just like a music samurai. You're just so fucking good at that instrument. They can throw anything at you and you'll lay it down.
Yeah, you're just gonna that's your job. 12 hours a day. You just like fucking nail it. So just kind of as like a brief sample of like one of the people behind like this whole product called Babymetal, the song "Gimme Chocolate" was written by a guy named Takeshi Ueda. And Ueda is the bass player in a very cool, very weird band that I had never heard of called Mad Capsule Markets. And I'd like to play you one of their songs.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 soundtrack, man.
Yeah. If any of you guys are familiar with that.
I had heard that song from that. I never knew what it was called. This is one of those moments in life where you discover something from your past.
Oh, that's so yeah. I mean, obviously I did not have the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 soundtrack, but that song feels like I could have heard it at some point in something. It's almost like if Power Man 5000 were good, it would sound like that. They're very fun band. It's like electro, like industrial punk, basically.
Yeah, I liked it.
And you could see how that would translate to a guy who would write a song like "Gimme Chocolate."
Yeah.
And that's just one example. There are more that maybe I'll like kind of dig up for social media, but like, you know, I mean, everyone involved in this project is very sincere and good at what they do. So even if Babymetal are, you know, quote unquote industry plants, like how much does that really matter?
Right.
And that kind of brings me to my second point. The thread that Babymetal aren't real metal. And to that, I don't even know if I can say they're not real metal, but my point is, I don't know how much that matters either.
Yeah, to me, this criticism is less legit. Because if you're going to be a metal purist in the first place, you probably already weren't listening to Babymetal. I guess I just don't understand.
Yeah.
If you're the type of metalhead who really cares, you're listening to black metal albums in your basement. You're not...
Yeah.
This didn't hit your radar. I can understand not liking a corporate creation, liking them for that because it's fake, more than not liking it because it's not metal.
Yeah. But I just wonder, like, listening to the music, like, and I know there are a lot of songs where like it's like genre wise it's closer to pop, but the bulk of Babymetal's music like sounds, to me at least, like anything else that could be called metal that would appear at a metal festival or on metal radio.
Right.
Like they're checking off all the boxes that I think they're supposed to check off.
Yeah, and that's where it gets weird. Depends who you ask. It's not about like the evilness or brutality, though. I will say that like metal, I don't think that defines the genre so much.
No, because there are plenty of like where's power metal in that equation?
There is very positive metal bands out there. Iron Maiden was never trying to be brutal.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. You could probably write a fucking 10-page paper on exactly what musical structures make it metal or not. But then there's metal artists that'll like dip into like ambient and shit. Yeah. And can't you sit there and be like, well, that wasn't metal? You know, where is the line here?
Yeah. It's like, are you going to like edit a Burzum album to take off the 3 tracks where he just does like synthesizer bullshit? Like, I don't know, man. It's... Well,
and this is the trouble with a genre like metal, or again, we could use jazz.
Yeah.
Like, if I put a jazz bridge in a not jazz song, what do you call it? And that's the simple crux of the argument.
Yeah. I mean, I think that this whole argument is more about aesthetics than anything else. And I don't think they're thinking about the musicality. I think they're thinking about the image and the fact that, like, yes, they did construct Babymetal as a novelty. The whole point in the beginning was to shock you with the fact that this music is being played behind these 3 girls. And like, you know, and the metal purists just never got over that.
Yeah.
Like, because the whole point of Babymetal is to like basically prove you wrong that like girls can't be metal. And I think the purists are just digging in their heels forever. And like will never, like, no matter what the music of Babymetal actually sounds like, they're just never gonna get over that initial reaction that they had when they were sitting at their laptop watching the Gimme Chocolate video.
So you're saying even if they made like a straight up death metal song, there's no singing. It's all they're literally just growling and there's blast beats. Metalheads would still be like, nah.
I believe so. I think so. I really think that.
I actually could see that too.
Because like they've come as close. They've done everything but that, Cal. They've even like, we'll get to it maybe later, but they've even growled a little bit in some songs.
Yeah, they do.
More recently.
They throw it in there.
Yeah. So like again, it's all about aesthetics, you know. Now it should also be noted that as much hate as Babymetal get from, you know, basement dwelling metal purists, they also get sincere praise from legendary figures in the metal world. For example, Yoshiki, the leader of X Japan, said that he really liked the idea of fusing kawaii girls with metal and hoped that he could play with the band someday. Rob Halford, who actually performed on stage with Babymetal in 2016, said that Babymetal is the future of metal.
I think he's right.
I think he is. You know, we'll get to that in the next episode, but like, I think Rob just as a lifelong veteran of having seen, I mean, this is a guy who's seen metal
from its infancy,
go through all of its ups and downs, twists and turns. Like, he's got like the perspective of the wise man on the mountain, you know?
I think he's like the guy he's watching when Green Day was getting big, and he just kind of knows, like,
it's like,
the old school underground aesthetic. It's had its time. It's had its time.
Yeah. He can see that this thing has legs. And then you know, another Rob Zombie, who was responding to fans who were kind of like making fun of him for posing for pictures with Babymetal at a show or something like that. And he said, quote, "These 3 girls had more energy than 90% of the bands we play with."
I also believe that because of what we know about idols.
Oh, yeah.
Their entire life is regimented. I guarantee you they were like eating fruits and vegetables all day.
Yeah.
While all those other bands were doing heroin and shit.
Yeah, right.
Like, I guarantee they had more energy.
Oh, yeah. Like 3 like young girls in the prime of their lives who dance for 90 minutes every night versus a bunch of 40-year-old guys with beer guts. Like, come on.
Fucking Rob Zombie's roadies.
You know, like, it's no contest. Now, in the years to come, Babymetal would continue to rack up praise, photo ops, and collaborations with more legitimate metal icons, to the point where I actually think it was part of a conscious marketing strategy. Now, one of the earliest examples of this is a song called Road of Resistance, which was co-written by guitarist Herman Lee and Sam Totman.
No way.
Yeah, this is real, Cal. From the legendary power metal band Dragon Force. Now, this is your cue, Cal. I left you some space.
My God.
You gotta.
This band.
Give these guys a primer.
I knew these guys before they were in Guitar Hero and became everyone's meme power metal band.
This is true. I remember you playing this band back in early high school.
Early in my music knowledge, I just thought like the speed in this is unreal. These guys are crazy. This can't be possible. And then I learned it isn't. They were using a lot of studio and production tricks. They do play live now. They found people capable of playing it.
Yeah.
But it took a long time.
No, but it's just like, you know, like it's like a 10-year-old's idea of like how to do metal on guitar. It's like
it's you take the idea of power metal, which to define it for everyone else is maybe like faster Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
Just take it to its logical limit. Sing exclusively about dragons and banding together to defeat them. Mm-hmm. Make your guitar solos as obnoxious as possible. Everything about them is just pure, like the essence of nerd-ass metal distilled to its finest form.
I never liked Dragon Force.
I don't blame you, man.
I'm not a power metal guy in general, but Dragon Force is like my mental stereotype of what the ideal of power metal is.
Just so everyone knows, I got to keep my street cred.
Yeah.
You know, most metalheads aren't super into Dragon Force. Mm-hmm. They're definitely one of those meme bands where if they're like in a soundtrack or with some other band, you go see it because it's funny.
Yeah. I mean, like, I appreciate that this kind of thing exists.
They're a perfect pairing for Babymetal. This makes perfect sense.
100%. So we're going to play the song that they wrote in collaboration with Babymetal. This song is called Road of Resistance.
哦 my god.
Yeah.
That actually made me nostalgic.
Yeah.
For when I used to listen to Dragon Force.
That's so like, yeah, you were saying like that basically is a Dragon Force song.
That is straight up. It has all the tropes of your classic Dragon Force sound. Mm-hmm. It just has Babymetal's vocals instead.
Yeah. This is like a good hint of the direction that Babymetal was going to go towards in the future. Is like they're going to like be like a shape-shifting
they'll make like what they want.
Force who goes around and shifts to whatever type of metal that they want to ape at that particular moment. Like, it's not a bad strategy.
No, and I just have to say, I know we said we'd let it lie. That song was objectively metal.
Yeah.
So, you know, yeah, there's more. That argument's tougher than you would think.
No, I don't see how they're not metal. I don't get that.
I think again, it's people just they hear like the ones that have a rap bridge or a dance sound or the kawaii chorus, and that's the argument for that's not metal.
Yeah, I mean, but again, like there's by this point there is more of songs like that in the Babymetal canon than there are songs like Ine. So like you that argument really just kind of falls flat at a certain point. But yeah, that song like very I mean, you really wanted to just like take your sword out of its sheath and ride up the hill, didn't you?
That's all power metal is about. That's what it is.
And like,
let's leave the Dungeons and Dragons session in our basement, go see a band, and LARP.
And like, you know, like it's not even really worth like reading the lyrics, but like I will only describe them as like just having this anime ass vibe where it's like stand up and shout, resist for the justice forever. It's just it's nothing. It's completely meaningless. I've heard like Sue Metal like, you know, give little quotes where she describes this as like a part of the metal resistance, a story of Babymetal traveling across the world in hopes of creating new metal to unify the world as we break through the barriers of language and borders. It's just like
you got all that out of we should come together, ride together.
No, it's just like that's what Babymetal lore is. It's just like over extrapolating based on the most innocuous shit.
It reminds me of there was a VH1 behind the music of Metallica, and James was explaining the meaning behind Sad But True. And he goes on like this long tangent, like 2 paragraphs of talking about it. And then they play the clip from the actual song. And you're just like, oh my God. All that is supposed to...
I'm your light.
Right.
Like just,
I'm the one who takes you there. And he had like a 10-minute explanation of that.
it's really, yeah. It's almost like, like postmodern academics, when they'll give
When
like
Lil Jon tells you to get low, what is the context?
It's like,
what's the historical meaning?
I'm going to build an entire thesis, an entire career out of writing an 80-page exegesis of this one scene in, like some film from 1962. It's all completely silly. Far too many people take it far too seriously, but that is, again, calculated to be the case because in the world that we live in, in game culture, in anime culture, it's all about people taking innocuous, derived shit too seriously.
Well, and you need their engagement. If you can get people arguing on YouTube, making video essays and arguing in forums about your lore, that's a good problem.
Yeah.
That has that, you're on their mind and they're dedicating a chunk of their life to your stuff.
No, like the comments section just becomes like just this endless scroll of different opinions. And that's all you really need to keep your product on people's minds. So I think it's safe to say that by this point in our story, Babymetal have made it. They have accepted the challenge of the Fox God, defied legions of doubters, and waged holy war in the name of the metal resistance. But as with any hero's journey, the real test was still ahead. Could these spunky Megitsune foxes translate their viral success into a lasting career? Could they do so even as they aged out of their natural kawaii cuteness? And, most daunting of all, could they do it without one of their key members? All of this drama and more is coming up in Babymetal Part 4.
We'll get it out before the end of the year, I promise.
We will. We will get it out. I will tell you this. There will only be 2 or 3 major assassinations before the next episode comes out.
I know.
That's how we kind of are learned to mark time, I guess. It's like like
when was the last shooting in America?
When was the last shooting? When was the last war? When was the last near civil collapse?
2025 is a wild ride, man.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you guys are choosing to distract from this existential horror by listening to our podcast.
We are honored to be one of your choices in escapism.
So before I kind of close out here, I want to offer a special thanks to really there's so many people throughout the Babymetal community. I know that I've kind of slagged on them a little bit, but I couldn't have done this series without the people on Reddit who are interpreting a lot of this stuff and collecting and preserving these Kamishibai videos and especially translating them to English. In particular, I want to shout out a guy named Enkidu, who is a blogger that wrote a page of Babymetal translations and interpretations. I'll have a link to him in the show notes for this, but he's been nicknamed Do Metal by the Babymetal community. That's how kind of important he is. And so his translations have been really vital in helping me do this research. So yeah, that's the episode. You can find us on social medias. We are polishing.podcast on Instagram and Threads. polishingturdspodcast@gmail.com. If you would like to book Chad Kruger on your sex podcast, that is where you go. Because we know every artist that we've ever covered, we have interviewed. We don't show you those interviews. It goes
into our personal vault.
It just goes into the personal vault. We just do that for research only, but we are on a first name basis with
I'm
Chad and Fred Durst and
fucking Bobby
and fucking Kid Rock.
His name's Bobby. Yep.
Yeah, Bobby. Lena from Tattoo. I learned Russian just to talk with her.
Even the artists that have passed. We're in telepathic communication with them beyond the grave.
Telepathic communication with Sakevi from Jism, and I still talk to Viper in prison.
Yep.
I smuggle letters to him in the jailhouse. So yeah, definitely hit us up if you want to talk to those people, and more importantly, please give us a 5-star rating on the podcast platform of your choice. If you're watching this on YouTube, please give us a like. We're actually kind of getting ratioed a little bit because we've gotten a few dislikes from Babymetal fans. So
come on.
No, again, man, that's what happens.
We crossed the wrong crowd.
When you come for their idols, man, like you get hit. And I should have known that was coming.
Guys, we're dunking with love. We're laughing with the artists.
Yeah, they don't.
I'm sure Kid Rock. I'm sure Kid Rock listened to his 5-part series and loved it.
Of course,
he loved everything.
He's a
we
humble
said.
guy. He's a well-rounded, understanding human being. But spread this podcast any way you can. And Cal, I want a new challenge for both of us. Each new episode we do, I want to come up with a unique way to spread the turd. So this week, I'll start. So let's say that you and your loved one are attending staying at like a little country bed and breakfast, like some really kind of cozy pastoral cottage in Vermont, in some place like that. Let's say that this cottage has a guest book. I want you to take a pen and write in this guest book. I want you to write a summary of maybe just 8 to 10 of your favorite episodes of this show and tell everyone why they should listen to it and how based Cal and I are and how it really changed your understanding of Insane Clown Posse. And
I'll fill up 6 pages. It'll be fun.
Yeah. Please do that, because then Ethel and James, the owners of the cottage, will really remember you and really want you back at their establishment next year. All right, that's about all. You got anything else, Cal?
I guess I was going to do old school messages in bottles. I was just going to put something that says, listen to Polishing Turds podcast in a bottle, throw it as far as I can into Lake Michigan, because that's the closest thing I got. And,
throw a message in the bottle.
I'm going to do 30, and they're going to be washing up, and there will be a news story.
Yes, and then Sting will write a song about it.
See?
All right. Sayonara, and remember, any questions you have in life, only the Fox God knows.
But there is only one path for Babymetal: to let go of their past selves. And when the magic fox circle is summoned, even death cannot stop the reincarnation of Babymetal. The spirit of heavy metal then transforms into an eternal light, transcending time and space, ultimately becoming the one.